Hello, this is Janine Bolin with the Jungian Shadow Meditation from the Practical Mystic Show. Now, this is a technique that Carl Jung came out with probably in the 30s or 40s. And it's one of those situations that it's something very simple to do. It has a fantastic process and it will guide you so that you are not being triggered quite so easily by the emotions of people around you. As an empath, as a psychic, as a healer, it is very easy to get triggered with our own stuff. But once you start doing the Jungian shadow meditation, this systematic process will give you the tools necessary for you to move forward with that. One of the foundations of Carl Jung's work was for you to remember your childlike self. Now, yes, this is a picture of bubbles. Why? Because if Janine wants to feel childlike, I break out the bubbles because to me, this is the best thing on planet for entertainment for me. I absolutely love them. And so it's just to remind you to kind of lighten up. I know you may be going through stuff right now, but the point is when Carl Jung was doing this meditation, he was like, remember that childlike wonder. Remember how you used to marvel at the basics of life and how even breathing or talking into a fan that was running would give you the giggles because it was just so funny how your voice sounded when you sucked in helium and spoke, which we don't do much now, but you can get in front of a fan and speak and make it funny. The joy of wandering around a field of dandelions and being able to pick them. These are the type of simple pleasures that Carl was trying to get us back into. He wanted people to remember their imagination, that when they were a kid, and if they found a stick and they started playing with that stick, that it wasn't just a stick, it was a sword, it was a flag's banner, it was a rifle, it was, there were a million things that that stick would become. And the reason for that playful attitude and that sort of imagination was to help you increase your abilities at clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is just the ability to see things that haven't happened yet. It also is a psychic gift or skill at being able to communicate with your subconscious mind because the subconscious mind does not see things as words. The subconscious mind uses pictures. So you want to be able to kind of go into your safe space and be able to look at where is a place that you can go in your own mind that is safe and you enjoy being around. Now, for me, I find healing and solace in nature. So I usually have a lot of landscapes or wooded areas or places that I like to go to. Some people enjoy going to the beach, just depends on the individual. I've had some mystics that prefer mountains and caves. They like to actually be in a cave when they are mentally thinking about their safe place in their mind for their meditation. Some people like to create a building and go into a building, walking up steps and going into a building as they enter their meditative state. Whatever that is for you, this is an exercise that will help you be able to go on retreat, even if it's only for 5 minutes, where you will go into that building or go into that place and go on retreat. All you're wanting to do is as you walk into that room in your meditation, you want to make sure that you have 2 chairs, a sofa, and a table. And what we're going to do is you're going to sit in one chair and across the table is going to be a mediator in the other chair. Some people use a very high spiritual being such as Jesus Christ, Krishna, Ganesha. Some people use a loved one that has crossed over that they trust. All that's necessary is that the person who is the moderator or mediator in this meditation is somebody that you trust implicitly. Another thing is you're going to have that couch along the side, and we'll explain what all this configuration is for in just a minute. Here are some pictures of different types of rooms that students have sent me over time. You can make your couch quite luxurious, or you can be more nature oriented where, you have rough hewn furniture. Some people actually have fireplaces in their room. I'm just giving you some examples here of things that you can do to set up that environment in your own head that's a safe place for you to have a conversation with yourself. Now, as you set up this construct, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the 2 chairs, a table, and a couch, but this is what your subconscious mind is going to see. Your subconscious mind is much more abstract. It's going to see the chairs as triangles and a circle, and the couch is going to just be a longer rectangle. So this construct is there so that you and your higher self, your conscious brain, can communicate with the subconscious so that you can understand the pictures that are there. Many of us don't understand why we are triggered the way we are. And so when we get into a high emotional state, we don't understand what it is that is happening because we can't remember where it came from. We just know we are triggered. One of the things about this meditation is you put a bag on that table, and this is going to be the portal or the vortex or the gateway, whatever word is your favorite, that you're going to do. You're going to open that bag, and this is where your subconscious mind is going to give you some sort of an image or an experience is going to come out, and that image or experience is going to sit on the sofa and stare at you. Now, this is where you get to kind of unlock the symbols that are your subconscious mind. The first time I did this, I had a very gauzy, like black cloud that was very dissipated come out and sit on the sofa, and nothing but two eyes blinking at me like cartoon eyes going blink, 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 blink. That's what happened. And I turned to my moderator and I said, I don't get this. And I tried to acknowledge the being, and I said, okay, I see you. I hear you. I'm here to listen and learn whatever it is that you care to share with me. And the eyes just looked at me and went blink, 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 blink. That's all that happened. And so I turned to my moderator and I said, okay, I don't understand. And my moderator turned to me and very gently said, I believe they're sharing with you that children are to be seen and not heard. And this is why you have difficulty speaking on stage. So sometimes having that construct will allow you to understand and get information from yourself as you try to figure out why you're being triggered in the various ways that you are. Carl Jung recommended that you do this once a day. Once a day, you open up your bag and see what comes out. And what's wonderful is that at one point, you will open up the bag and nothing will come out. And you will have cleared pretty much everything you need to clear from your shadow self. Any triggering that happens after that is just practice. As my teachers used to tell me, it's just practice, getting you used to the fact that you don't need to go through the fight or flight response just because you're being triggered. Now, just remember, this is what your analytical self sees. When you're looking at the alphabet, you kind of see these things in this format. And then this is what your subconscious sees. It sees it in a much different format than you do. And so by having this bag and the table and all of that may sound very complicated, but in actuality, it's a way for you to be able to understand the symbols as well as the images that are being broadcast to you. It's kind of like you're sitting there with a code and you are learning how to break that code. And once you learn how to break that code, your subconscious is no longer walled off from you. You now have a way to be able to communicate with it, and you're able to identify with it. So that's the Jungian shadow meditation. Should you have any issues with that or want to talk to me about it, go to thepracticalmysticshow.com/ask Janine, and you can join me for an open coffee every Friday where I am chatting with people about what they are experiencing and see if we can't give you a little guidance and help on the images that you are being shown.